Hey everybody, Cathy Naiser Maps Coach. I wanted to share this video because I think it's going to be an interesting year in real estate. I heard some numbers, I think it came from a Brian B guy, that said that this was the lowest inventory. Our inventory now nationally is the lowest we've had since the 1990s. I find that shocking, and maybe it's true. He said that while the population of the United States has grown by 80 million. So I didn't check out those numbers, but the point is, it is not just historical record lows of inventory. What that means is that the people who are succeeding, and there are plenty of people who are succeeding, they're the ones going out and finding the business. They're the ones going out and making business. They are making deals, finding houses for buyers. They are getting in front of sellers and buyers drastically. They are the ones who have chosen in this market to make it work. And one of the things that's a pet peeve of mine is when people say something like, oh, well, it's been really slow. Okay, how do you know it's been slow? Well, everybody knows it's just slow. But they don't have any data. Like, they're just like one of the people in the market center who's saying, oh, terrible things. And they're listening to all the people in the market center and the people in the cheap seats who aren't working on their business. And when it's so simple to track, to spend 10 minutes every Monday and know so much about your market that you're the expert. That when somebody says, oh, it's slow, wow, did you feel that last week? No, we actually had more houses on the market last week. So we just take what people say. We get the general feeling a lot of times. Maybe we get some numbers from our market center or our MLS once a month, stats. That's not enough to know when something has changed. You know, years ago I went to a training in Baltimore. It was an advanced train the trainer or train the presenter through Keller, and there was the guy who was hosting it was the regional director up there, amazing guy. But when he did his talk in this class, he said, do you know how to know when there's a shift? He said, I do. And he pulled up the charts from 2008. And it was this massive spreadsheet of active news, all this kind of stuff. He was tracking his whole MLS. And he said, it shifted right there. And he pointed to a month where there was a drastic difference, a week that kept going. So 1 week of shift isn't much. The news can create that. But a trend is something that when you're tracking, you see. And you may see before other people feel. So to be the one who has their finger on the market, the one who knows, the one that will walk in a listing appointment and say, Mr. and Miss Seller, there were this many homes on the market and this many sold last month. Well, nothing's selling. Well, this many houses actually did sell, Mr. Seller. So do you want to, list right now and get moved when there's opportunity here because the inventory is so low? Or do you want to wait until everybody else is going back on the market sometime in the future? Right now, there's a huge opportunity for seller and buyers because the competition that could happen with lower interest rates hasn't happened yet. So when you know the stats, you can actually present things to your sellers and know what you're going to say before you say it because you've been tracking it. So I'm going to switch screens now. I'm going to come back on another screen where I can show you this actual spreadsheet for tracking the data in your MLS. I've actually attached it in my newsletter below this, this video where you can download it and use that to track your entire MLS. Again, don't go with just, well, we got this state or this city or whatever. Use it to track the entire MLS. It's easier. It'll show you trends. So keep watching. I'll go to it now. So I'm back and I'm going to share my screen so that you can see this tool that I have attached here. Now I attached it as an Excel spreadsheet, not as Google Sheets. So you can just use this and save it. to your hard drive, or you can upload it to Google Sheets. Hopefully the formulas will still work. I think they will. So when you open this first sheet, it just kind of is an intro, and it's not really, I mean, it's old stuff, so I wouldn't even look at it. When you go to core data, that is where you start inputting data. Now, I actually put some stuff for this week, and I'm going to delete it because that was just a test. So what you do each week is, or each 2 weeks, and however you do it is okay, but no less than every 2 weeks. You go in on a certain day of the week. I have these dates as all on Monday. You go on Monday, just spend a couple of minutes doing this. It orients you to what's going on the market. How many active listings today? How many new listings in the last 7 days? And you can do, now some of the new listings may have gone under contract. Our MLS actually shows us that. There's a hot sheet on our MLS, and I bet your MLS has something like that, where you can just go in and look. I'll share with my screen there, so you can get in there and look at it. I'm going to stop share and start share. So right here on our MLS, it says the new, the expired, the price change, the sold, and pending, and you can change that. That's 1 day. I can actually change it to 7 and refresh it. So now I know that in the last 7 days, there were 1169 new listings. Not today, but in the last 7 days, there were 104 expireds. Did you know there were that many expireds in the last 7 days? That's a lot. So that tells me expireds are going up. Maybe I need to start calling expireds. There were 1,000 price changes in the last 7 days. Can you imagine if you walked into a listing and said, now, Mr. Miss Seller, I know you want to price this home here. However, in the last 7 days, 1,000 other sellers dropped their price because they realized that their price was too high. So would you rather price your home correct and be the next home that sells? Or do you want to price it high and then have to come down later and end up chasing the market? Which do you prefer? They have a choice, right? Solds, 397 solds. This is for the entire MLS. Pending, 595. So our MLS shows us there on this market activity hot sheet. If yours doesn't, I would call your MLS, call your board of realtors and see if there's anything where you can find out how many new listings were there in the last week. If it can tell you that, it can tell you the other things. Now I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet here. As soon as I find it, there we go. Yep, this is it. So you put how many active listings, how many were new in the last 7 days. If you can't figure that, how many are new today? How many, if you search the category new, how many would show up today? How many went pending in the last 7 days? So most of you can do that. You can set a date for a status change on the MLS. How many went pending in the last 7 days? How many closings were there in the last 7 days in your whole MLS? Now, a bunch of you said, well, there's all these different counties. Do it for the whole MLS because it's the easiest and you're just tracking trends. And if it happens in one state, it's probably going to happen in a nearby state. Just track the whole MLS. Average days on market. So what you do here is you pull up all the ones that closed in the last 7 days. How many days was their average days on market? What was of the ones that closed? What was the average price? And then how many price reductions in the last 7 days? How many expireds? And how many agents? Your team leader, sometimes the MLS might show you that, how many agents. And then here, I think it's important to start tracking the interest rates. So to call your lender every Monday, what are interest rates today? Really good score, good 20% down, conventional, whatever. Put it there. Okay, so just track the same thing and watch what happens with interest rates. So you can be the one that knows. Now, cool thing about this is when you put it in here, this actually has some graphs. And it will, I think it might work from the copy that I made from Google Sheets. If it doesn't, let me know. This down here is kind of bothering me. But it's meant to graph. But whether it graphs or not, just being able to look down this line and see active listings grow or decrease is huge. Now, a change in 1 week, it means nothing. A trend is where a pattern is happening over weeks. Real frankly, every time something major happens in the world, things tend to pull back a little bit. So 9/11, oh my God, things shut down for a couple of months. Every time there's some new bombing somewhere, it jolts things just a little bit. You start watching it and you'll see, okay, this happened in the news last night. I wonder what happened right here on our MLS in the last week, or this happened last week. You will end up putting world events together with where you see little changes in your market. So a weekly change is nothing, but when it's a pattern in starting or a drastic weekly change that continues, that's what that guy pointed to. It was a drastic change in active listings. Drastic. So do you want to be the one who knows your market so well, so well, so well, I could sing it, that you're the one who's the expert and you can say it to every one of your clients and you don't even have to listen to that buzz that everybody else says because you know it didn't slow down. This is where it has been, or it actually picked up. See, you can know those things when you track it. Once you figure out how to do it, 10 minutes every Monday morning, 10 minutes. And I'm serious, it can absolutely change your whole mindset. And it is something I recommend you as the agent do, or the rainmaker, not an admin. You can go and look at it on your own, but when you go pull those numbers and you look that closely, you understand it more. Like I don't think he had somebody else doing it. I think he was looking at it. And I recommend you do the same. So track your numbers, your MLS numbers, watch what's really going on in the market. Use this tool, download it. It's an Excel sheet. I just put it in the newsletter. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions. Take care.